Diwanawanga.
Prince of the Bay, and today we're at Disney's Hollywood Studios because happy Mandalorian and Grogu Day.
Yes, we're going to eat all of the Mando things and talk about the movie.
Yes, because your number one choice in foodie entertainment. We're here to try the food so you don't have to the movie. She's vegan. I'm not. This is the way.
It's time to foodie and chill. The few things that Grogu does eat in the movie is popcorn. Now it's not exactly this popcorn, it's the other popcorn that we had opening day, and we have a video on just that, so go check that video out. I have not had the blue popcorn yet, so I decided to get that, even though it's not the exact popcorn that was featured in the movie, but they did make a good job, do a good job of like product placing things you could get at Galaxy's Edge in the movie. I'm assuming the blue is supposed to be like a blue milk flavoring, but all I taste is popcorn. It just tastes like regular popcorn that you could get, like the regular vegan popcorn you get at Magic Kingdom or whatever. It doesn't taste special like the other popcorn, so I would say skip this one and get the specialty one. I mean, they're both specialty, but the Ketsetas, I don't know. Bear will say it. I can't say it. Dyslexia. We'll give this a 3 out of 5 popcorns. It should be better. It's not. Bear's gonna hate this.
Even in a galaxy far, far away, even in New Mandalorian Grogu, there doesn't exist a world, universe, or planet where I don't hate popcorn. Even the smell is my Village of Oregon story. This would cause me to crash out and turn to the dark side because I despise popcorn. Now, Mandalorian Grogu being out today, the first Star Wars movies we've had in many, many moons, there are a lot of like little Easter eggs. There's Galaxy's Edge Easter eggs, there's movie Easter eggs. So this is an actual reenactment from the movie. Not the disgust face, but the eating popcorn part. Oh my God. That tastes like movie theater popcorn. That's the worst kind. I can deal with kettle cooked, and you would think at Saka's Kettle, it would be kettle cooked. It's not. It's just regular popcorn. And here, all of a sudden, I am filled with flashbacks of dirty movie theaters, Diet Coke soft popcorn, chewing gum, all the bad thoughts. The smell going home every day from work, reeking of wet, disgusting popcorn, all come flooding back. This is my Village in Oregon story. I hate this, every part of this. I'm glad that people, at least during the movie, liked it, but I despise it. This is a 1 out of 5 claws for me. I would throw this at a droid if there was a droid nearby that I could throw it on. I'm not going to do that to him, though. I love droids. Allegedly, one way to Grogu's heart, as found by the Hutts, is Grogu's cookie, or a pineapple and white chocolate macaroon. You got to ration them, though, because he will eat them all at once. These are like less like a whole macaroon and more like half a macaroon, because you got like a macaroon top, but the bottom is like colored white chocolate. So already in this heat, melty and messy. I'm not looking forward to this one. Pineapple, white chocolate. I love those two things individually, but together, we'll see. That is very pineapple forward. More pineapple than chocolate. Chocolate is there, but it's like the equivalent of like a chocolate and like one of the medallions on like a Disney cupcake. So it's really just macaroon and pineapple, which for me is completely fine. I could see how I could stand there with my force power to stare at you blankly as you tell me no, and I eat them anyway. This makes a lot of sense. A whole lot of sense. Give these 4 out of 5 claws. With new Star Wars movies comes new themed food, especially here at Docking Bay 7. We've been receiving a lot of updates here lately. But the newest one is this puffer pig pasta. Not to be confused with the puffer pig ribs that they also have on the menu. But this is delicious pork belly on top of like the hand-pulled noodles. There's some chili threads in here, a hard-boiled egg, and supposedly, allegedly, there's some bok choy down there at the bottom. But those are the kind of things that I am here to investigate for you, so you don't have to. So we're gonna dig right in. We got a nice big pile of these hand-pulled noodles. Extra sauce for everything at the bottom. A nice covered in. I don't see, okay, the bok choy is cooked into it. So it's like a little shriveled, almost like spinach. But there is a lot of bok choy in there. Don't make a mess, because they are slippery. Slipperier than Grogu's last dinner. You know, I'm quite surprised. It does adhere to the sweet and spicy label quite well. I would just say it's like a 4.5 out of 10 on the heat scale. The chili threads that are hidden throughout here definitely help with that. That's these little like red things you'll see like floating through here. The hard-boiled egg is really just there for decoration, but you know, it will taste well when it's all mixed in. But the pork belly itself is nice and tender. It eats more like a mall food court bourbon chicken than pork belly per se, but it does have a nice flavor, nice tenderness to it. I'm not feeling put out because it's like more soft than it is like savory, chewy that I would expect from a pork belly. But the hand-pulled noodles are kind of in the vicinity of my alley. It's a bear-approved sample. I think this is something that would make Road to the Hut hop. He hops. Ask me how. But man's got some muscles. He's kind of stacked. Maybe he's eating 2 or 3 a day. I could probably eat 1 of these a day, but this is a nice addition to Docking Bay. Dock this in my stomach. 4.25 out of 5 paws.
On the kids menu, there is an Impossible pasta, and we've gotten the kids option before, but there's actually an adult version as well that I don't think that we've explored before. I'm very sad I forgot my pocket parm this time, but you know, sometimes we just got to show it to you in its true form. You know, this is the pasta. Normally I would take some broccoli and eat with it, but it's rather large and I do not have a knife, so I'm just going to do a normal bite for you guys, and then I'll cut up the broccoli later. Cheers to pasta. Because this is generally a kids menu item, it is a little bland, so it needs like salt and pepper. Mixing with the broccoli may help, but probably not a lot. I'm going to miss my pocket parm, but I will say that the marinara itself is very meaty. Even though the marinara is not flavored, it's meaty enough for me to enjoy the Impossible for what it is. I will give it a 3.75 out of 5 pastas. It's not the best, but it's also not the worst.
It seems even in a galaxy far, far away, even the vegans are getting fed pasta or hummus. It's been pasta, it's been hummus, it's been pasta, it's been hummus. I want something a little bit more unique. Maybe like some space plant-based lumpia or plant-based short rib, something. But for now, we'll eat as the galaxy eats. Pasta with marinara in a plastic skillet. I'll admit, even knowing the Impossible was in there, I wasn't expecting it to be so meaty. It's definitely a very good meat to sauce ratio, where it's feeling more like a bolognese than like just a straight marinara sauce on pasta, which does help with the flavor. It's definitely given pasta for all palates. It needs a certain something, a little bit of spark, a little bit of red pepper, a little bit of pocket parm, something, because it just needs something. The broccoli on its own is not going to be enough to save this meal, but it is a filling meal, and it's a much bigger portion for a plant-based meal for quick service than you get, I think, in most places, even in Hollywood studios. I respect it. We just don't get along. You know what I mean? I would give it 3 out of 5 claws.
The Yuca fries are available after 3 p.m. They are not actually listed on the menu. This is another thing where like I wish I had gotten a knife. It's very much reminiscent of the what was it, Food and Wine version of the Yuca. struggle with no knife, I apologize. All right, here we go. Yuca. We're losing Yuca slowly. We lost it at Caribbean Beach, sadly. So I'm glad to have it here. This is literally ripped straight from Food and Wine, same sauce and everything. It's delicious, but I don't really think it belongs on Batu. I would put it somewhere else. Maybe festival favorites at Epcot. That might be a good spot. I don't know about here. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 Yuca, though it doesn't belong on this planet. It's still tasty.
I am glad for the continued survival of the Yuca. I'm feeling much like the Jedi Purge. They are slowly purging Yuca from restaurants all around Disney World. I feel in a lot of cases that even when they have Yuca, they're not really sure what to do with it. They're like, okay, thick fries. What do you do with fries? Let's put sauce on it. Or like even in the case of like the Yuca at say Trader Sam's Grotto, it's like, okay, it's fries, but we're gonna give you a side of plant-based meat that's like this big. Like more creativeness. I feel like even like I think we had Yuca once at as a side for tacos at Grand Floridian Cafe, and even that was like, okay, here's a stack of Yuca. You got to figure something else out. Maybe cubes, something like mixed in a bowl, but just Yuca sticks with sauce. That seems a bit space lazy. They succeed in two things. The Yuca is crispy and the sauce is good. So lazy as it might be, they hit, to me, a home run. I could do with more Yuca, more than just like 5 or 6 sticks, but for what it is, it tastes good. I think it makes a nice snack. I could do just like a walkable version of this. I wish we didn't have to come inside Docking Bay to get them, like sort of my Ronto roasters and keep Ronto roasters open until a decent hour. Say like, I don't know, an hour before close every other day, but Saturday and Sunday, which I think they already do. But I would give that 3.75 out of 5 claws. If there's one thing I'm glad for, I'm glad that things update in Galaxy's Edge a lot more than I expected them to when this land originally opened. I wish Pandora updated as often as this does.
I agree, but we don't get as much as Disneyland, so we'll just be thankful for what we get presently.
Be fair to Walt Disney World. I think the new edition of the pork belly pasta was great. It's more like a Chinese style noodle with meat than it is like an Italian pasta, but I actually think that works quite well for Star Wars. It's got a nice spice to it, so spice heads. It's not going to burn your throat out, but I think you will enjoy it at the very least.
I wish they had a vegan version.
She would destroy those noodles given the opportunity.
I would. I love those kind of noodles. So we had some great popcorn, macarons. We got a good first dinner at Docking Bay. So let's see what else we can get into.
Lollygagging around, I see. Are you traveling with this one here, my friend? This is quite the uniform you have here. Does this mean you're fighting for the right side?
Of course.
Very good. May I see this back? Ah, those were the days, my friend. Very good work here. And do you trust this one you're traveling with?
Yeah, I know. He's a little questionable.
You have to keep an eye on this one, especially. I'm relying on you, my friend. Safe travels for now.
Shimmer of the armor of the Mandalorians in the sunlight. Our 3 sons. Made with an edible glitter you're going to see for the next 4 to 6 days.
The new Spotchka meant to shine like the Mandalorian's armor. A nice little shimmer in there. It's the shimmer of Beskar. Only you're drinking it. You're drinking the strongest drink armor in the galaxy. I don't know. It just bubbles and it looks fancy. The cough is from the bubbles, not the strength. But it's got gin and a honey syrup, so it drinks like a shiny blue lemonade. which I'm not mad at. It's tasty. It's bubbly is the best in fizz, but a little bit more punchy, a little more tart. I give that 3.75 out of 5 claws.
Never travel without a jet juice, the strongest drink in the galaxy. Now this is something they should have put in the movie, but they didn't. They didn't put R3X in there either. Not enough cameos, but you did need to watch Clone Wars and Rebels. 5 out of 5, Princess Island.
It doesn't feel like it's been 6 years since we last tried the rotating ration. Galaxy's Edge has been here for quite some time and we've enjoyed every second of it. Revisiting it has changed a little bit. We got some gummy frogs in here right now and little bits of rhodiola. Well, I mean, if Han's gonna shoot first, we gotta do something with the leftovers. So you get jello shots instead of shots. Dig it in, I want some of the rocks. I want some of those juice-filled pearls and I want that gummy frog. This has a little bit of alcohol in it. There is a non-alcoholic, the Oga's Obsession as well. But be warned, this one does have the liquors. From a texture standpoint, it's an absolute nightmare, the same as it looks. Basically, you're eating Jello with boba pearls, gummy frogs, and then Nerds candy. There's a lot going on in there. It's fun. You can't really taste the alcohol, but it is like a small, like, sweet bite. I wouldn't call this like a treat, but it is something. It is basically like a galactic Jello shot. I give it 3.75 out of 5 plus. Next up we have Oga's Obsession. Also not new, been here for a while, but this is the non-alcoholic ration you can get. Same sort of Jello. You have the Pop Rocks and the candy here on top, the Nerds candy. And then also the boba pearls inside this one. This one has no gummy frog though. This one is instantly a lot sweeter than the Rhododendron ration. This feels like you took everything from like Goofy's candy store at Disney Springs, put it all in Jello, and then handed it to me. Almost too sweet, like too intense. You got 3.25 out of 5 bars. Somehow we escaped Oga's and I kept my shirt.
I will say, if you were trying to eat Mando and Grogu things, the frogs that he had in his rations were basically the extent of the Mandalorian food.
The rations themselves and Oga's Obsession aren't new. It's just the addition of the frog and some of the different kind of like Nerd Pop Rocks candy on top, but they're basically the same as they were before.
Well, the one that you had 6 years ago was a completely different like configuration. Too.
It was still like
different themes.
Yeah, it was still like the same sort of like setup. It's
Jello
just different like ingredients for the most part. But it was still a fun time, and I love that they're adding like little touches of Mando. You don't have to revamp every menu. We would take that, but you don't have to.
I will say, if you're gonna go watch The Mandalorian in theaters, bring you a comfy blanket, wear your comfortable pajama pants, and act like you're binging a season of a show on the couch, because that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, I would rate this movie like a strong 3.75. It's a good summer movie, but like low stakes. Like you don't really need to go in expecting some world-ending event.
I would give it a 3 out of 5.
3? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little lower than 3.75, I think. But I will gladly eat and drink amongst the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay. Let's feed you then.
Yeah, we got one more stop before we end our little Mando crawl. This is the latest iteration of the falafel, Tuscan inspired, with all of this extraness here. We were here the first day of this, and I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the falafel. Let's see. It's like a beet hummus. And then you get, as I drop my fork on the table, you get a beet, or you get a nice little like roasted pita action. So really I just want to get it all on here on the pita so I can just eat it. This is a huge bite, but I commit to my mistakes. This does not taste like falafel or Tuscan inspired. This tastes like Bastia, one of those like Moroccan pastries that has like the dough on top, like the flaky dough with the sugar, and you like eat it. It really tastes a lot like that. I don't know if it belongs on Batu. I also don't know if I like it more than the old version. I think I like the old version more, but this isn't bad. It tastes different than what it actually is described as. And we want truth in advertising here, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5 falafel. It's good, but it just doesn't taste like what it says it is, and I'm assuming that's a good thing.
The Faluca falafel with the garden spread. This is a colorful bunch. I feel like this is something that those like hoity-toity, richy, muckety-mucks on Canto Bite would eat, because it's far too colorful for the working class here on Black Spire Outpost. But you have falafel, colorful hummus of different varieties, and then beets. Luckily for me, the princess despises beets, so I can eat all of her beets and not feel bad about it. So we're gonna load up this piece of falafel, all nice and grilled, and on top, like a balancing act from a Canto Bite circus, I'm gonna put a beet to the beet. Here's the thing. I feel like the falafel has maintained its consistency, more so than some falafel we've seen around the park. It's still nice and crispy, nice and full. There's still a very good size. My issue is the hummus. The hummus feels like it's gotten sweeter, and I'm not sure if I'm a fan. It's not bad. It's just different. When you combine that sweetness with the earthiness of the beets, even still, something's off. Feels like something's amiss. Like you're not leading up in the garden, you're leading more into like treat area. It's more than just colorful. Something is really wrong with its roots, and I'm not really sure what to say about it. Honestly, I do miss as well the original version of this. This one needs some tweaking. Your tone of the sweetness just a little bit. The color is fine. Make my food as colorful as you want to. If it looks like colors of the rainbow, Pride Month is coming up really quickly. I'm fine with that. It's just the sweetness that kills me. 3.25 out of 5 claws. Much to our shame, there were some updates that we missed on May the 4th, specifically the ones here at Docking Bay. There were some additions and refreshes that we missed. It was a long day, it was a hot day. Either way, it was busy with no places to sit, and that's kind of a problem when you come here. The hardest part about coming to Docking Bay, honestly, is the seating. The food is fine. Finding a place to sit can be a stressful nightmare in and of itself, especially on a warm day. Luckily today, it's honestly not been that busy. It's been busier, but not like the busiest we've seen Galaxy's Edge, which is fine. Finding a seat in here has not been as terrible as it has been days past. Now, the fried chicken, yip, that did get an upgrade, some different accoutrements. And then there's also the ribs have also changed a bit, but I've had both of those things in the past. One thing that I haven't had that's on the menu now is the pot roast. You have the Saka pot roast, these nice big pieces of the roasted beef. You have carrots in there, potatoes and carrots at the bottom, on top of a bed of mash. So you meat and potatoes, people, you have your dish, but there's still carrots in here, and I do expect you to eat your vegetables. Children, make sure your parents eat their vegetables. They are not abstaining from that. They make sure you eat theirs. You have to make sure they eat theirs as well. It's equal opportunity here. So you have in here these bulb onions. I'm kicking them out. You don't have to eat your onions. I'm never going to make you eat those. And you have this nice big hunkin' piece of pot roast beef. I got a knife, but clearly I don't need it. That's a bigger piece than I wanted, but we commit to our mistakes. much like a Moff Gideon versus the entire planet of Mandalorians. Fork tender, well seasoned. Definitely got the slow cooked flavor. It's definitely falling apart as one would expect pot roast to be. It feels pot roasted. The flavor is on its own, not as punchy as I would like my pot roast, but again, food quick service at Disney World is going to be made for all palates. They do have salt and pepper here if you want it, but it is not as punchy as I'd expect. However, that's just the pot roast by itself. I would give that a 3.75 out of 5 claws. Diving back in, I want to get an all-in bite. I want some of these carrots. I want some of the mash. And then I want some of the pot roast. Not all of the pot roast, just some of the pot roast. There's some of you out there that don't like to eat your veggies. And it sort of entice you. Not that this is going to work. Different veggies serve different purposes for different things. While the pot roast on its own, a little above average, but sort of plain. When you add the potatoes, you get a nice, like, buttery, smooth flavor that you're adding to the top of the beef, which helps sort of, like, enhance the beef flavor. And then the carrots on their own, even roasted, add a bit of, like, smoke and then a little bit of sweetness to it. So you're getting, like, an all-in flavor. So even without adding additional seasonings, you're getting some flavor enhancements. That alone should be reason enough for you to eat more vegetables. But I'm not your doctor. I would say the pot roast is a welcome addition if you just want something more beefy. But I don't say that it's my favorite dish, and I can't say that I'd order it again. If I come back, I would probably still lean more towards the noodle, the pork. The noodles are probably going to be a new favorite. The pork belly with the noodles and the fried chicken yip yip still is one that I think about from time to time. This, I'm giving a 3.75 out of 5 claws. It fits, but it's not my favorite dish. We've had a nice full day here at Batu Black Spire Outpost.
And I would say this is a great post-Mando watching place to eat.
Yes.
Some things that we enjoyed, other things we didn't enjoy. I will say while we were watching the movie, when they were product placing the food from Galaxy's Edge, I did some hard eye rolls. Especially when...
The Grogu cookies?
Yeah, the macaroons, because they were like in a little container and he was like flipping it and it was just like, okay. It's like a Pez dispenser, Galaxy's Edge food. But other than that, it's been great. Great food, great movie, great everything.
Yes. For the movie itself, we think that if you're a Star Wars fan, you should definitely go see it.
Yes.
It's a nice low-stakes movie. If you enjoy Star Wars, you enjoy the things that make Star Wars great. It is a great low-stakes, character-driven movie. It's very much focused on the characters and their story, and less like one overarching super big bad, which we've had plenty of. It's time for like a new era in the Star Wars universe, and I think this is a good start.
I will say they spent too much time on one planet in that movie, and I was not a fan of that.
That's a fair critique. I need more time with the Ancelians. Those are now my people. If I can get them to adopt me, well, I'll be an Ancelian bear. Either way, I thought the movie was good. I will definitely be watching it again, forcing her to watch it with me.
Yes, on Disney Plus. We're not going back in the theater to watch that.
This isn't a watch it 9 times like we did for The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
But still, a very, very good time. But we know what you guys think. Are you excited to see Mandalorian and Grogu? Do you think you want a pregame or postgame here at Galaxy's Edge? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if there's anything else you'd like to see us do, the comments will always be the place to find us. Hit that notification bell if you want to see other videos like this. And
we have new videos 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
we'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, maybe Bear will get lost on well, I was going to say the Endor moon, but maybe just like Batu. He lost on Batu and he never gets to leave the planet. And then what are you going to do with your food reviews without Bear?
I'm sure the rent here is cheaper than Orlando, so I'm all in. You heard the girl.